It's brand new Stephen Piercy right here on your Classic Metal Show from his View to a Thrill release that is From the Inside. And a couple new tunes there for you. Brand new Metal Church, The Black Things, and brand new Stephen Piercy there. So good stuff.
Yeah, not bad at all, dude.
Nice heavy up-tempo tunes.
Yeah, like them both.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that these bands that you and I grew up on when we were teenagers, they're still out there playing?
It is.
I mean, think about that. Here's another one. You know, I get shit for even bringing this up, but I'm bringing it up. Like the band Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They were like one of my first bands as a 5-year-old.
Sure.
That I heard. I'll be 55 this month.
Right.
And they're still playing.
Yeah.
How weird is that? It's like nothing's changed since I was a kid.
Yeah, they're playing at the Roxino actually here shortly.
Yeah, they're playing here at the local casino as well.
Are you going?
No.
Can't go see it with that guy, huh?
Yeah, you know, it's just not the same. They got 3 original members now. They got the 2 horn players and Robert Lamb, the keyboard player, and that's it.
Yeah, I might go.
You know, it's okay. I've seen enough YouTubes as like, you know, I've seen them over 50 times in my life. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it just wouldn't be the same.
For me, I think I know the publicist, so I think I could probably work some freebies. I'm not going to pay to go because the tickets are I think are stupid expensive. Actually, to be fair, I have not looked to see what the tickets cost, but I have to imagine a small setting like that to see Chicago. The tickets are not $25.
No, not at all.
Sure, they're probably up like $100 a hit.
But even, you know, think about like the Who or even Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're still playing, and they were playing before I was born.
Yeah, they were old when we were getting into music.
And they're still playing.
Yeah, they sure are.
It's like it just never changes. And so, you know, of course, when I was in high school and into college age in the early 80s and working at the record store, a lot of these bands that I got into, the hard rock, the metal bands that I was listening to that had debut records back then,
right?
They're still playing today. And that was, you know, 35, you know, going on 40 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, no, it is amazing that they're still out there going.
Yeah, and doing good music.
Yeah, well, some of them.
Well,
there's some that aren't.
Well, that is true, but at least those last two tunes that I played were pretty good.
That's good, but you know, you can counter that and say, well, that last UFO record was pretty goddamn lousy. You know, what was that called? 7 Deadly or something?
Well, I got to be honest, I did not listen to that.
Pretty poor. And then they did the covers record after that, and that was really bad. Yeah, that's a band that definitely should retire.
Yeah. Well, that is bizarre, though. It's like the soundtrack of your life has never stopped.
Right?
It's very strange. But anyway, since we're talking about Stephen Piercy, as you know, Stephen and Juan, the only 2 remaining original members of the band RATT,
right?
They're still out there playing as RATT with 3 replacement guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Bobby Blotzer, who basically dragged the RATT name through the mud for a couple of years there, playing just as the solo RATT with 4 other replacement guys.
Now, do you think he dragged it through the mud?
I do.
Why do you think that? Because I don't. And I mean, I think what he did was wrong, but I will give credit where credit is due. He put out a good product, a decent product. I didn't see anybody that said that the shows were shit.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll agree with that. But the thing is that RATT, as an entity, was still in force. He just hijacked it.
That I agree with. That part I agree with. But to say they dragged it through the mud makes it sound like it was just shit shows. And
well, that's not really what I meant. What I meant is that he compromised the integrity of the lineup that could be out there, but just because they were having their disagreements at that time, they didn't break up and or anything. He just decided, hey, you guys don't want to work, I'm just going to go find 4 other dudes and go out there.
Right. Yeah, the brand was tarnished.
That's kind of what I meant.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Bobby kept saying that he was going to prevail in his lawsuits, and that he was going to win. And, even though the RATT entity that includes Stephen Piercy and Juan Crucier had gotten summary judgment almost, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
He kept saying, oh, you just wait. You just wait. There's lawsuits out there. We're going to win. They just didn't take into all the consideration, all the, the evidence.
Yep.
I'm going to prevail here. Well, apparently Bobby did not prevail.
And he told me that one-on-one in the phone call we're not allowed to play.
Right. Well, according to the Northern California Record, a federal court has dismissed the counterclaims from drummer Bobby Blotzer in a lawsuit related to the ownership and the use of the RATT trademark. A judgment was entered in favor of RATT's general partnership, which includes RATT's fellow original members Stephen Piercy and Juan Crucier, in a trademark infringement lawsuit filed against the corporation WBS Inc., and Blotzer, who is the partnership founding member and the former WBS president.
Right.
So he did not prevail. The RATT partnership, a 1985 agreement, gave equal shares to the band's original members, including guitarist Warren DeMartini and Robin Crosby, the latter of whom died in 2002. WBS, short for Warren, Bobby, and Stephen, was created in 1997 to handle licensing and other aspects of the partnership business after Crucier declined to reunite with the bandmates following a breakup. However, in November of 2016, U.S. District Judge Dean D. Pregerson ruled that per the band's partnership agreement, Crucier could only be fired with unanimous consent from the other members, which had not been granted by DeMartini. In March of 2018, summary judgment was entered against WBS in another case it brought, again finding that RATT marks were never properly transferred to WBS from the original partnership. In May of 2018, the partnership filed a lawsuit against WBS and Blotzer, claiming that the drummer ostracized and took over WBS, which purported to own the RATT trademark. The partnership also accused Blotzer of claiming the exclusive right to tour as RATT and renamed his cover band RATT, and said WBS and Blotzer were guilty of trademark infringement because they allegedly used the RATT name without permission. In November of 2016, the other RATT partners unanimously agreed to expel Blotzer from the partnership. The partnership wrote in a lawsuit under the agreement, an expelled partner has no further rights to the marks and may only refer to himself as formerly of RATT. Despite having no rights in the marks, Blotzer and WBS continued to tour and promote Blotzer's cover band as RATT, and on information and belief continued to sell and or cause RATT merchandise to be sold. In response, WBS and Blotzer filed counterclaims accusing the partnership of false advertising and arguing that the trademarks were subject to common law treatment. In this November 19 ruling, Pregerson wrote, "This case, like the prior cases, revolves around ownership of the RATT trademark. That is, WBS and Blotzer's entire agreement is predicated on the assertion that, notwithstanding and indeed as a result of the fact that the RATT partnership never assigned the RATT trademarks to WBS, and WBS nevertheless enjoys common law ownership of the marks." So if you weren't aware, the original partnership from 1985 never was dissolved properly, so it was still in force, and that original partnership owned the RATT trademarks and everything, and WBS was formed. And it really was not a legitimate partnership because of the original partnership was still, valid.
Right. So Bobby loses.
Yeah, he lost.
That's basically what it comes down to. Bobby lost.
He did. Because he kept saying that, well, WBS is the partnership. But WBS is the partnership. And it's like, well, no, it's not.
Yeah, not quite. Sorry, Bobo.
Well, when I was out in Santa Fe last week and hanging out with Dawn, Dokken had played a couple of shows in Southern California, and even though Bobby has voiced his disdain for Don,
sure,
he still showed up at the show.
Oh, did he?
He did. And he wanted to come back and hang.
And did Don say no?
No, he said, you know what, he goes, I don't have any animosity toward the guy. He says, I more feel sorry for him. He said, so, he goes, well, don't you know who I am? I'm Bobby Blotzer from RATT, telling the security.
Yeah. He was like, used to be, formerly of RATT.
Yeah, and that's why I said that, too. I said, is he still saying of RATT? Because he needs to say formerly of RATT.
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
Exactly. So Don told the security, he'd say, go ahead and let him come back.
Right.
And he said he was like drunk off his ass and just rambling on about a bunch of nonsensical bullshit. And just, Don said, I basically tolerated him for, a few minutes. And then it's like, all right, Bobby, it's good to see you. I got to go.
Got other things to do.
Yeah, my manager's calling. I got to go.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just, he says, I was just surprised that he decided to show up, and then on top of that, wanted to come back and visit.
Yeah, that seems a little nuts, especially after he said just heinous shit about Don.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. Just a bunch of two-face.
Well, whatever. I'm sorry to hear that Sir Robert, because I don't want to offend him with the name that I say. So I'm sorry to hear that Sir Robert lost his case.
Yeah.
Is that better, Bobby? Is that better? Is that a better way for me to say things?
So anyway, he lost.
Yep. So now what?
Well, nothing. Steven and Juan can carry on because they're part of the original partnership.
Does he go back to the Blotzer's RATT experience, or is that just dead now?
Well, I guess if he wanted to play, he could basically do something like that and say, featuring Bobby Blotzer, formerly of RATT.
Do you think at this point, though, anybody would care?
No.
I mean, would he be able to play outside of L.A.? Would he be able to get in a van with the guys that he had? Not that Sean's coming back, but New Singer and the guys that he had, Mitch Perry and the guy from Y&T and him and whoever, and I don't know, play the Roxino.
No. Well, see, here's the thing. When he had Bobby Blotzer's RATT experience, it wasn't selling anything. That's why he decided, well, fuck this. We're not getting any draw on this at all, so I'm just going to call it RATT.
Do you think that Steven and company will now sue him for the money that he made as RATT?
Quite possibly, yes.
You think they will, or do you think they'll just be like, you know what, at this point, who gives a fuck?
I don't know the answer, to be honest with you, because, again, that's all in accounting, and they have to be accountable to the partnership of the sales of merchandise and ticket sales and whatnot.
Yeah, that is true. So, yeah, oof. Boy. That would really suck if after all this, Bobby is, like, broken by it.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
I'd imagine he'll file a bankruptcy long before he could, they'll get a judgment and he'll immediately bankrupt it out. That's what I would do.
Yeah, because, again, I don't know the inner workings of what he did during the time he was out there touring around as RATT, but if he didn't account for the money that he made or doesn't have the money that he made that belongs to the partnership,
yeah,
who knows?
And that you know what, that might be criminal.
It could be. It's embezzlement.
Yeah, that could be a criminal. Well, it's also, I wonder I wonder if it's criminal in that he was not, because he thought that he could do that, if it would be criminal that he did that when he legally couldn't. See what I mean?
Well, I guess, you could say, well, I made a mistake. Here's all the money back.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the money,
yeah,
then that could be a real problem.
Yeah, I can't see those guys jailing him over it though.
No. But it could be a real financial imposition if they chose to pursue it.
Yeah, that's now I guess we get to see how much of boys they ever really were.
Well, I can tell you that I watched some old RATT interview stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene or two, in like they were on location and they were filming and they were kind of interviewing the guys and stuff.
Right.
And Bobby was just constantly pestering Steven and getting under his skin about stuff. Even back then.
Really?
And it's just like, well, I can see why things still fester today.
Yeah. And plus he's as much as it fits this show, it's sad to admit, but that Facebook might be his fucking downfall.
Probably.
Social media, once again, all the shit that he spewed.
Yeah.
And I can promise you it's all been screenshot and it's all been kept. And all the quotes about let's get litigious and ba. Oof.
See, that's why I have such a problem with people airing their dirty laundry out in public.
Right.
It's just like, if you got a problem with that, why do you got to let everybody know? Why do you got to let the court of popular opinion rule? Because my opinion and your opinion mean nothing.
Nope.
The only reason that people do stuff like that is, see, people are on my side, man.
Yeah. I just think if he hadn't said anything other than, you know what, we'll let the courts work it out, he'd probably be in a better footing right now. As far as I made a mistake. Because he really can't say that now because he'll absolutely be out, on the record as saying that, I can do this. I know I legally can do this.
Right.
He said that in interviews. He said it on his Facebook and, his social media. He's stuck to those words now. I hope it doesn't end up with anything bad, honestly. And that's, Lord knows I love stirring the pot and doing that kind of, but I hope it does. I hope
that they can let bygones be bygones and just go about their business.
I'm hoping that this is the last we hear about it. That they understand that he doesn't have the money to give them, first of all, because maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I would hope that at this point, after how many years of litigation and how many years of this bullshit, I would hope that they'd be like, you know what? We've got the name back. We're out on tour. Enough's enough. Move on. I hope that's the case.
Well, we will find out, won't we?
I guess we'll find out sooner than later.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, best of luck of everybody. And by the way, I did reach out to Steven.
Yeah.
About coming on the show and, plugging his new disc and everything.
Yeah.
So he hit me back. It's like, well, let's do something this week. Which means,
sure.
Yeah, let's chase you down.
All right. We'll talk to you in February, Steve.
So the invite has been made. So, as soon as we track Steven down, we'll get that going.
What's he doing right now? He's not touring, is he? He's like off for his knee, isn't he?
Well, there's more to that whole knee thing.
Yeah. Well, I was using knee as maybe I should have said air quotes knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.